Hello, welcome to the weekend. Please kindly subscribe and share. In a story released on Wednesday, March 27, 2024, Law and Crime claims that lawmakers and law enforcement are suing former President Donald Trump for his alleged involvement in the bloodshed on January. They contend that there is no justification for requiring them to postpone seeking justice any longer. They made this assertion even as Trump continues to ask the U.S. Supreme Court for clarification about his claim of complete immunity from criminal prosecution. Trump requested last week that all January civil cases against him be put on hold by U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta, on the grounds that doing so would unconstitutionally reveal his criminal defense plan. He is being tried for a crime in connection with the trial has been put on hold while the Supreme Court decides whether to grant immunity. But in the civil proceedings, the plaintiffs have maintained that there is no justification for any further delay. They note that even if the Supreme Court takes the summer to decide, it would still be too long for the plaintiffs, since they are not anticipated to rule on the immunity issue until April 25. Recently, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia made it possible for 3 civil responsibility actions pertaining to the assault on January 6 to proceed. The court determined that Trump had neglected to provide compelling new arguments and had missed a deadline before the Supreme Court to refute the complaints. The court maintained the ruling of a subordinate court that Trump's activities during his campaign for president do not provide him presidential protection. The congressmen engaged in the civil proceedings contend in their petition that Trump misrepresented the relationship between his defense in the criminal trial and the civil actions. They further point out that 4 months ago, Trump had the chance to refute the accusations in the civil proceedings, but he chose not to. The plaintiffs additionally contend that Trump ought to be compelled to outline the specifics of his defense so that the parties and the court may decide if limited discovery is necessary, and that a delay would not enhance the efficiency of the legal system. Additionally, they refute Trump's assertion that his Fifth Amendment rights would be violated, asserting that the court has the authority to erect barriers unique to each case in order to safeguard the rights of defendants. The members also voiced fear that Trump would take action to obliterate or hide information that supports their allegations. They draw attention to the fact that the media has extensively reported on Trump's tendency to remove evidence that is used against him. It's important to remember that the parties' attorneys were scheduled to meet to talk about immunity restrictions, but Trump's attorneys declined to attend or consent to any conditions. The plaintiffs contend that because Trump has used up all available appellate channels regarding presidential immunity, he ought to be obliged to either assume the burden of proof on the defense or allow the matter to go to trial on its merits. Trump is accused of breaking the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, which forbids mob violence against government officials, in the civil charges filed against him. Numerous plaintiffs also claim that by encouraging the assault on the Capitol, Trump caused them to suffer psychological and bodily harm. The plaintiffs contend that waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on the immunity issue would just cause needless delay and have no positive consequences. They think that Trump has to answer for his suspected involvement in the violence on January, and that there should be no more delays in the administration of justice. Once more, a story from Daily Caller on Wednesday, March 27, 2024 states that Tony Bobulinski, a longtime business colleague of Hunter Biden, has charged Democratic New York Representative Dan Goldman of slander. Bobulinski's lawyer, Jesse Bynal of the Bynal Law Group, threatened to take legal action over the congressman's charges in a letter sent to Goldman's office. Tony Bobulinski has used a Trump campaign-paid lawyer to make false allegations since October. Bobulinski's attorney said in a letter that the Daily Caller was able to receive, alerting Goldman to the possibility of upcoming legal action. The claims are based on comments made by Goldman on social media, particularly on a post in which he discussed Bobulinski's behavior at a House Committee on Oversight and Accountability hearing that looked into the Biden family's overseas business relationships. I want to be crystal clear. From my direct personal experience and what I have subsequently learned, it is clear that Joe Biden was the brand being sold by the Biden family, Bobulinski said at the hearing. He said that in order to win over Joe Biden and the U.S. government,